Hello, 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 and welcome. I want to walk through very basic watercolor supplies that will help you with this challenge. At the very minimum, if you don't want to spend a lot of money on supplies, or if you don't have any and you want to go out, but you want to get the very basics, here is what I recommend. At the very basics, you definitely need a few cups of water. Plastic cups are good for these. I just reuse them. 3x5 index cards. And I would get the thickest ones that you can, because if you rub too much with the painting, it can start to pill the paper. However, we're probably not going to be doing too much of that in this first class. So 3x5 index cards are just fine. You need paints. These watercolor sets I found at Michael's. You can also find them online. If you like the Viviva color sheets, you can have this and your water brush and some index cards, and you can really do a lot with just that. Otherwise, you do need some paint brushes. If you do just one, I have some links below, but this particular one is a Princeton Brown number 10. The number 10 on the paintbrush is the size, but different companies, their sizes are different. This is considered a round, and this is considered a flat. You can use either one. However, if you need to choose between one or the other for this challenge, I would say choose the round. This is a very inexpensive craft brush, and let me show you the difference. This one over here, when you push it down, has some spring to it. This means you will have more control. This one may be good for some random texture, but you're really not going to be able to have a lot of control with this. So if this is all you have, this is what you can use, but this could be very frustrating if, say, you're trying to create a really nice circle. This one, as you can see, the bristles are going to go everywhere and you're not going to be able to control it. If you are going to spend a few bucks on something, I would recommend it being a good brush that has some spring. Water brushes, some of the Viviva sets come with a water brush, and you can also buy them in the art stores or online. I love mechanical pencils. You can use a mechanical pencil or a regular pencil, some kind of ballpoint pen. This is a gel pen. You don't have to have it. And then this is just a Sharpie, a marker. If you have these, great. And if not, just at least have a pen that works. Paper towels, lots of paper towels. We are doing color theory. We are going to be doing different swatches of color. You're going to be cleaning your brush quite a bit. So a lot of paper towels. I always have a roll handy. And lots of cups of water. Why lots of cups of water? Because you don't want to be getting up and changing your water all the time. I actually recommend 3 cups of water. In another video, I will show you my setup and why I like 3 cups of water. If that's all you have, you can do this challenge. Here's the other thing you need to know about colors is you want to find colors that say primary or come in a set. Now, I just said that, and these are acrylic paints, but I know that these 3 colors will act as primary colors. Your primary colors, we're already starting on color theory, is red, yellow, and blue. You do not need green. You do not need any of the other colors, because I will show you how to use these 3 colors and mix all the colors that you want. But you do want a red, a yellow, a blue, and a white and a black. With sets like these, you don't always know what your primary colors are. If you get the Viviva color sheets, I will show you which red, yellow, blue to use as your primary. But what we can do with a set like this is we will have to play. We will have to figure out which red, which blue, which yellow will mix the best. We will go through that in the challenge. Here's the thing, not all colors are the same. If possible, I would recommend getting a primary color set that's red, blue, and yellow, as well as get black and white. Now, with watercolor, white is not going to go on top. So I have something called gouache, Gouache. And at the very minimum, if you can't get gouache, you can get a white paint. Okay, so with your set of watercolors, and I'll show you here, this is not actually gouache. This is white watercolor, which won't do quite as much as the others. But if this is all you have, don't worry about it. I know from experience, this is kind of a black. This is kind of a white. Probably in this set, something like blue, red, yellow is what we'll be using. We won't be using these other colors for this class because you'll be able to make all these colors with just these three colors. All right, my creative friends, this is another paint and it's called Tempera paint, and it is water-based paint. Sometimes they use these for kids paint. You can also find sets in many of the craft stores. They're inexpensive. You can find a set for under $10. Now, a set will usually come as 6 with the color green, but you actually don't need the green. The only thing that you need for this challenge is primary blue, primary red, a primary yellow, black, and white. These are all the colors that you need for the challenge. And with this, I will show you how to make a multitude of colors. This paint will work just fine for the challenge. I just happen to have a lot of this Blick Tempera paint. It's better, the colors stay more vibrant, the color mixing stays a bit more true. So if you are buying colors separately, the only colors you need, again, yellow, red, blue, black, and white. These are your primary colors: blue, yellow, red, primary colors. And as often as possible, you want to get a primary color. And that is why I'd recommend, if you haven't painted before or don't know much about colors, or you often get mud, meaning brown, when you mix colors, to go for a primary set. These sets, most of the time, their colors are quite pure and mix well with each other. So with these 5 colors, we can make literally 100 colors, and we will be making many of those colors in the class. Another great thing to have would be something like a palette knife. This is a metal palette knife. As you can see, it's got a good amount of bend. This is just kind of an inexpensive palette knife from the art store. Either one. We use the palette knife to mix up the paints. If you don't have a palette knife, but you have a lot of like stir sticks, you could use those instead. If you are using paint that comes out something like tempera or acrylic paint, then you're going to want to use like a plate as a palette. You're going to want some kind of palette knife and or a bunch of stir sticks. So these have been used, pardon these. And with the palette knife, you can get away with just one. You'll mix your paints, clean it off, mix the others. They come in all different kinds of sizes. I would stick with a small to medium size. No bigger, no smaller than this one. And this one is quite big for what we're doing, but it'll work well. So if you have thick paints, tempera or acrylic, you're going to want either one palette knife. But if you're using stir sticks, these are harder to wipe off and get the paint off completely because these little wood sticks are porous. So you'll want a bunch. If you're using stir sticks, I would recommend at least getting 20. That way you have extra if you need. Get 20 stir sticks and a plate. If you're using the tempera paint or acrylic, you're going to be using a lot more paint than gouache or watercolor. Let's talk about paper. What I have here is some index cards, mixed media paper, watercolor paper, and there is Bristol paper. Bristol paper is made by different companies. These just happen to be Strathmore. Strathmore also makes a watercolor paper. There's lots of different watercolor papers. There's lots of different mixed media papers. What you want is a fairly thick paper. Copy paper probably won't work so well. It will buckle, it'll ripple, it's just too thin. These index cards, these are fairly thin. I would recommend getting the thickest index cards you can. That said, I'm going to be using index cards, and I'm also going to cut up some watercolor paper and mixed media paper for this challenge. We're working fairly small. Now, if you want to use a full sheet of watercolor paper or mixed media paper and do all of your paintings on there, you are welcome. However, what I recommend is getting small cards, because what you will wind up with is many little paintings. And this is so much fun because as a bonus, I'm going to do a little book to show you how to take these little paintings and put them together in a little handmade book so that you can remember what we did, use it as a reference, all these things. I will also show you how to take your little paintings, especially the ones that you really, really love, turn them into cards, you can turn them into bookmarks. There's so many things that you can do with these paintings once they're done. There's also something called artist trading cards. If you have some of those or want to get some of those are fantastic because they're small. They're like playing card size. Those are really fun as well. I'll put some images and some links up. Choose what works best for you and your budget. These are the Viviva color sheets, and I'll be using these for some of the demonstrations. If you get one of these from me, I don't have many, but if you reach out, I prefer that you reach out sooner than later. If you are in the United States, I can get this to you probably within 5 days of the challenge starting, so keep that in mind. And you could absolutely just use this for your challenge. A water brush, these little mini Viviva color sheets, and the index cards. The only other things that you would need is to get some black and white paint. This is one thing that we're doing towards the end of the 5-day challenge using this black and white. And you can skip that, just watch the demonstration, and you can do it later if these two colors interest you. Now, for the challenge to win, all you have to do is post a painting each day, a different painting each day. So if we do a process, I'm going to give you a lot of different options. Each day we're going to build upon the next. And so it's perfectly okay to keep working with something that you really enjoy doing and post a new painting, another one of those each day. With this, I'm going to challenge you to learn a bunch of different things. But what I'm really interested in doing is helping you spark that creative interest for you to find your unique style, the colors that you like. For instance, if these are all the colors you ever need and you love, you can paint with just these. And then this is a clean, brand new Viviva color sheet. I don't believe I've used this at all. Nope. So I have this up for sale. I have a few of these for sale. And then this is not for sale because it is very well used, as you can see. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, my friends, this is from my watercolor class, but I wanted to share with you that if you are using watercolor paint out of the tube, the way that that works is you take it from the tube, squeeze it in, and you can let it dry, and then you use some water to re-wet them. This is a kit from when I taught Watercolor 102 in person, and there's a red, there's a yellow, and there's a blue. So in this kit, I would show people how they can mix these colors, and then the other colors are just for that class. This is a set of gouache paint, and this is just the kit that I have to use. And within this kit, I'm going to use noir, which is black, lemon yellow, ultramarine blue, vermilion red, and titanium white. This is gouache. This is thicker than watercolor, and I will show you the difference between watercolor and gouache in the class. All right, my friends, as an overview of what you need for this 5-day challenge, you need a brush of some sort, you need cups for water. I recommend at least 3 cups, lots of paper towels or a rag, a pencil, a pen, a marker, some kind of paint in the primary colors, red, blue, yellow, plus black and white. You can use watercolor, you can use gouache, you can use tempera, you can use acrylic. Whatever you have is just fine. I just want you to come and paint. You will learn so much by what I'm doing. And even if you don't have all the materials, as long as you have some kind of paint, something to paint with, something to paint on, some water and some paper towels, a pen and a pencil, maybe even a marker, something to mix with, you will be successful. I can't wait to see you there. Reach out if you have any questions.